Hi everyone, and welcome to our 14th weekly video update. Our staff has been actively walking a lot of cornfields in the last 2 weeks, trying to help producers assess the damage that this recent drought spell has caused. We've really accelerated the maturity and the time of cutting. Yesterday, Ben and Kareth did some samples with our chopper and our tester on some plants that are of similar stature and maturity to these, and found that it was already at 28% dry matter. Probably in a week from now or less, there'll be some silage activity that'll take place. It's imperative that you walk your fields from one end to the other, and if you need some help with that, please call our staff. There's so much variability within one field that you need to assess when that proper time of cutting will be. In order to aid producers in making better decisions on harvest time of their corn silage, we will be holding a meeting on August 21st in Grunthal at the Big Smoke restaurant. Registration is at 8:15, and at that point we will also further discuss whether nitrates will impact any of your decisions on cutting your corn. Up next is Ben on a follow-up with some corn and bean development in the area.
As Mark mentioned, a combination of record-setting temperatures and minimal rainfall amounts means that dry soil conditions, as well as drought-affected crops, have definitely spread beyond just that Kleefeld, Grunthal and St. Malo area. For example, so far in August, the Steinbach weather station has only received about a half inch of rain, but we've had a lot of hot days and it looks like another plus 30-degree weekend is in store for us. As a result, soybeans around Steinbach are stressed as well. They're entering the R7 stage, and some fields, including our PKP plot near Kleefeld, Manitoba, have already begun to turn. Here near Drew, Manitoba, it's a different story. Right now I'm standing between some P00 A49X soybeans and P007 A90Rs. These two varieties are going to make up the bulk of our sales for next spring, so we're definitely keeping a close eye on them. In this particular location, the A49Xs are already at the R5 stage, while the A90Rs are already at the R6. And that means that any rainfall later on in August is not going to significantly affect the yield for this year. However, on a plus 30 day, a stand like this can consume about a quarter inch of moisture. So that means that any residual soil reserves, as well as what's left in the plant, is going to be the deciding factor for what your yield is this year. Right now, soybeans as well as corn are still about 10 days ahead of schedule, and that's basically due to the extreme temperatures that we had early on in summer, where we got a really great start on both of these crops. As a result, the first field of soybeans will probably be combined in the first few days of September. Next, we'll take a look at some corn in the area. I've moved over to one of our grain corn plots north of Labroquie, Manitoba, and I'm standing between P7958 Acre Max on my right and one of our new hybrids, P7527 Acre Max on my left. Both of these are fantastic grain hybrids, and here, given a little more moisture, have pollinated a wonderful ear, are still green from top to bottom, and we're really excited to see what both of these varieties do on the way wagon this fall. One thing to keep in mind, especially with more drought-stressed corn, is that later flowering hybrids are more likely to exhibit tip-back or to form zipper ears, as some of those kernels begin to abort as the whole plant moisture starts to dry down. This is one of the reasons why we always suggest planting a package on your farm instead of just picking one particular hybrid and putting that across all of your acres. Secondly, under drought conditions, the ear shanks are likely not as strong on these plants as they would be in a regular ear. This means that you could see some cob drop closer to harvest when those plants begin to dry down. So in that case, it's probably important to get out there and start harvesting those plants before they get too dry. Otherwise, we could see a bit of a yield decrease. Thanks again for watching this week's video, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call the office. Have a great weekend.